Doubles and coffee. You don't find it strange, weird, asinine, ridiculous that PNM, let's talk corruption. Look just in the last few days, you're hearing PNM minister's name calling up with allegation after allegation with information and research. You see Foster name, his family name, his wife name, his sister name, his brother name, all kind of name, daughter in companies, Foster all over the government. But that's not new. Foster has been there, whether he was before as just a PNM member, a senator, now a minister. Foster, but you're seeing the name calling, whether it's Venture Credit Union, PCAL, anything, Rivulet, contracts across the board, Foster. You're hearing Faris name calling, Faris renty building, Faris name in anything, Faris in CPEP, Faris name on affidavit, Faris told this one, told Joel Edwards to renew, cabinet and approve, Faris, you're hearing that across the board, Faris wife, Faris family, Faris company. You're hearing, when you listen, you hear Penny husband, Penny father gets CPEP contract. All these PNM people, you're hearing their names, you're seeing connections to enrichment, to getting contracts, to improvement through politics. But yet PNM does want to call name and call people corrupt and say UNC corrupt. That's not it there, you know. When you hear Randall Mitchell, they rent out his own building, Pantry and Bago. You hear Franklin Can, his wife building get rent out while he was in cabinet. You hear, well, the king of all kings, Rowley, from way back, you have Rowley and landed Scarborough Hospital. Rowley said the Integrity Commission found 17 indictments, 17 charges to lay on him, but they didn't tell him nothing. So he went in court. Rowley said that Scarborough Hospital, Renaissance, Greenvale with he boy Rahal land, which people nearly flood out and drown out in when they did not get change of use, they did not get approvals, but houses built. That is Rowley straight up to hostile INCAT, procurement of vessels, Rowley and small pin in that, going down Australia, close to goods and service providers. You could hear PNM ministers' names calling in everything, in allegations about actual actions taken by the PNM ministers. Yet them does want to call and attack people and say, them thief, when people name and calling nothing. It ain't done there. You call me, but you heard allegations and payments of his wife company get contract while he is a minister. Who else? Let me look at my list. Convent girl. When he become a minister, nobody even know who's convent girl. But all of a sudden, a company where his wife works and is a very senior official get contract after contract. These are facts that you hear. Yet PNM just want to talk corruption. When they swear on the Bible, somehow all them PNM, wife, family, mother, father, nene, brother, just get lucky and contract that's fall in their lap. Hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Who else we have? We all good. Well, they bring Hazel and all, Brian Manning. I'm waiting to hear you on this one. Because you see me, I want to hear, read every document and thing before talking on this one. Brian Manning, I'm not hearing you. You, Brian Manning, and you bring your poor mother in it. But Brian Manning, your name calling anything from long time. You know the $9 million basketball with Nixon deal that you lost the case with. But go ahead, but more. Let me go down the list and write down some notes here. You know. Who else we have? We have Adrian Leon's name on a company with gangster, and then he run and pull it off, but his name was there. He said, well, he needed a house in England, so the man had a house, so he make a company with the man address. These are all ministers of the PNM whose names are linked to contracts, to money, to enrichment. Oh gosh, who could forget the pin of them all? The man who put on the dark shades and say, hey, Trinidad and Tobago football team, I'm sorry, I can't be in the stadium. Who cares? Nobody cares that you was in the stadium or the stadium with your dark shades or with your glasses. Stuart Small, Penny Young, when he swear on the Bible to be Rowley's #1 minister and later selected prime minister, since he reached there, he brought a company, lucky company, NCB Global, moved from 0 public sector work to $4.2 billion in public sector work in the first 4 years of Smallpin's iteration. His father get in charge of the Economic Development Board after it collapsed. Rowley put him in charge of all incoming investments. Now, unfortunately, it had no investment coming because Rowley and the PNM run all the money away from Trinidad and Tobago. But his father, Smallpin father, was in charge of the International Financial Center, in charge of $15 million per year for the last 9 years. Not a center, not a bank, nothing reach here, except Smallpin brother company that he does run as CEO get a banking license too. So these PNM does go in there, and anything with enrichment, enhancement, improvement of their family, they name calling big and bold. Anybody else? I want to make sure I put everybody here, but that should be it as run through thing good. But here the funny thing, imagine last week, after approximately 11 years of a witch hunt of the PNM on live spot, but you see how I call all their name there? Because the allegations specifically to them, that they acted, that they were involved, that is their company, that is them wife. Well, after 11 years, the PNM trying to find something on live spot to call Anil Roberts' name, Anil O.E. Roberts. They can't find one thing. The thing went through court. It went through about 11 different years of court, pleadings, statements. A judge ruled that the board had to pay and they were irresponsible recently because they didn't ask enough questions. Because the live sport board had recommended to the ministry, and then that the contract turned out to be a bad contract and the man didn't want to do the work right. Not one time was Anil Roberts, the minister name, mentioned. PNM 95.5, Tony Lee, trying his best. People like Martin Daly trying to say the minister, no, Martin Daly, you dishonest liar. Minister, not on one document did the minister recommend, get involved, instruct, decide, choose anything to do with any contract at any time, whether $34 million contract or $10 contract. So in 11 years, the PNM cannot say one allegation to call Anil Roberts' name, but they keep going on after 50 million paying Kate, Inspector Kate and so on to hung down Anil Roberts. Not one piece of paper, not one allegation, not his wife, his ex-wife, his good wife, his girlfriend, his nenen, his uncle, his brother, his sister, nothing. But they keep calling and they keep going, and when it's UNC, when it's NP and it's contract and it's GoPol, anything, they just keep lying and repeating it. But you see, look at all these PNM names I call that are actually involved, have taken some decision, whether it is for their family, their wife, their friend, to enrich themselves, to benefit from government. But in 11 years, and I dare, Keith Rowley, I dare you, Faris, as I have been doing for 11 years, I dare you, Stuart Smallpin Young. You see how I call your name? Call my name and say Anil Roberts' wife benefited from a contracted life spot, or Anil Roberts' company, or Anil Roberts put money in venture credit union, or Anil. Imagine last week some clown on Facebook put up some phantom fabricated post about Anil Roberts. It's a secret. He resigned from the Ministry of Housing. I write to the Ministry for my birthday, taking picture, and the PNM gone with that. 95.5 trying to go with that. They call Philip Alexander. What is this? We hearing Anil Roberts resigned because they prove he touched money in live spot. Absolute total fabrication, fantasy and nonsense. But they still grabbing. But look, Foster, what about all them contract with your wife and your daughter? I think Foster Cummings, PNM minister, former. Brian Manning, is this thing true, and you're dragging Hazel with one would replace and that area, that entertainment area? Penny, did your father really get a CPEP contract? Faris, you rent out your own building when you're an attorney general? Faris Arawi, what about the renewals and the extensions at CPEP? Your name calling on affidavit signed in court and stamped. Faris, you see, I calling the name, you understand? Randall Mitchell, did Pantry-Bago rent out a building that you have a beneficial interest in and you're making money when you was a minister of government? Convan Girl, did your wife, the company that she worked for, how many contracts did she benefit from over your 10 years as MP for St. Joseph and Minister of Health? Colm, what about your wife? Did your wife company get contracts over the years? Answer, you see the difference? PNM is a disease, and you could call the name because it's not defamatory. It's true. So when the PNM like to talk and lie spot like call Anil name now. See, Anil got this contract for girlfriend, his brother, his mother, his sister, his nene, his father, his girlfriend, his wife. Say it now. And end up straight in the court because it's not true. The PNM likes to lie. The PNM is the most corrupt organization since its formulation and formation. The genesis of the PNM is TIEF. Let me see who else. Franklin Canwell, you can answer because you're going to the great beyond. But did your wife building, is it still being rented? While you were a government minister? I see Lenny said that the other day. Did he get a write-off from First Citizens Bank for 13 million for a bad payment on a loan that he took? Rowley, what about Landate Rowley? What about Renaissance Rowley? What about Greenvale Rowley? What about Austin and Incat Rowley that you got involved in the tendering process and told them to give proposals to Small Pen and a committee of ministers? What about the Galleon's Passage that the PNM ministers were procuring and they bought a $120 million vessel for nothing? Rowley, what about AV Oil? Was that your friend? Did you stay in charge of the process while an investigation was going on into fake oil and your personal lawyer, Kwamina, stayed and involved and settled the arbitration despite senior counsel saying appeal, appeal, appeal? You see, I'm calling all your PNM name in nonsense, in corruption, in enrichment of yourselves and your families against the Integrity in Public Life Act. I dare any or all you to call Anil name. Don't play no rumor thing. Don't play no games. Don't put somebody on Facebook to put some arbitrary post and then present it as fact and try and create a story. In years, 11 years of lifespan, not one reporter, not one PNM oppressor, official, not one allegation could ever be made about Anil O.E. Roberts and anything. His family, enrichment, contract to even supply dynamite. So fire burn you, PNM, because you all are corrupt and you are where you are. And soon after the next election, the PNM will not even be opposition. Okay, Penny, you enjoy your CPEP, father for CPEP money? Anything else there, Penny? Kelwina. Who else you have? Adrian Leon's Small Pin. The Small Pin of family benefits since he get into government. He get into government to serve you, the people. After bullying people all his life, from primary school into St. Mary's College, poor Imran Khan, Small Pen with the dark shades saying that he came to help the people. He loved the people. He gave out school bag this week. Really? What about your brother's company? How many billions did he get in public sector work when you were a minister, a super minister? Small Pen, let us know how much millions did your father get? How much work did Scotiabank, a company that your father was at the helm of for a long time, for 40 years, how much work, how much responsibility did they have for tendering processes and so on? Small Pen. See how I call all the name? All your PNM. Call Anil name now. Call it. Otherwise, shut up. Stay in opposition. Wait for the next election where some new party will come and obliterate the corrupt PNM. The PNM of Tesoro, Lock Joint, Caroni Racing Complex, Project Pride, Mount Hope, Financial Complex, all coming down the line to Rowley and Small Pen. The PNM is corrupt. All of them ministers' names? Look in Doubles and Coffee. The Douglas called them out all. Call the Douglas name now.